back for another review. Today I'm going to be going over the Googl trade that I took on Friday, February 13th, this candle here. Looking at the chart here, on Thursday night, I set this alert at previous day low. I was looking for some continuation to the downside on Googl. The overall market, if I go to QQQ, was pretty weak. It was under most of the EMAs. I was really just looking for a break of previous day lows on the Qs as well for some confluence with my trade. And if you look at this candle here, we did dip below previous day low. However, it got bought back up and we closed for an inside day. So if I go back to Googl and I go to the 5-minute chart, we can see we broke previous day low, this pink line here, broke that level and started to go to the downside, but it's very messy. We kind of chopped back and forth and then eventually started to grind a little bit higher, and then we dumped at the end of the day. So not the best trading action. If I zoom in on the market open, we broke my level here, this previous day low. However, pre-market low was lower, and I always wait for the price action to exit pre-market low and pre-market high in order for me to get involved in a trade. So I did have to wait for pre-market low to break. So this candle here wicked below, but did not close lower than pre-market low. So I waited, and then as you can see on this next candle, we did close underneath pre-market low, which got me interested. I then entered on this candle. However, if you take a look at this wick, this bottom wick, this should have, in hindsight here, should have been my tell that this was not really going to be the prettiest play. However, I did enter on this retest almost perfectly at the level, which allowed me to sit through some very small drawdown without truly feeling panicked or that I had a bad entry and it just made me nervous. I was feeling pretty good. The next candle was awesome. I loved that this candle came up. I did sit in some drawdown going above pre-market low, but then we closed underneath and I was feeling pretty good with this trade at this moment. However, as you can see, this next candle, we did break above the level and we closed above pre-market low. This previous day low being my true level from the daily, however, did give me a little more wiggle room, and with my entry perfectly at pre-market low, I thought, okay, let's give it this previous day low. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we continue to wick off of the previous day low, which we did, but we really never came back down and started to trend lower. It was really just a back and forth, almost perfectly between pre-market low and previous day low, just not the big trend day that I'm looking for. So in the end, I ended up cutting around this candle here. Once we broke and we closed back above this daily level, this level again was the stronger and the most prominent level that I was looking to trade off of. So once we closed above it, I cut it and said, it's just not worth it. As you can see with the reaction off of that level, we did reject that level and we came down lower. But overall, this is very back and forth. I'm looking for break this level and then we go down, 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 down. I'm looking for that big trend. So it's okay. You win some, you lose some. As long as you keep your stops small and you're not risking your entire account, it's okay to lose. Sometimes it's just not going to work out. This one here, break, retest, but the sellers just weren't strong enough and it just ping-ponged back and forth. And that's okay. That's my trade on Googl. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next review.